Hello. Hey.
I'm a shy little munchkin.
Hello, shy little munchkin. I am Min, and I'm gonna turn you up because I can barely hear you.
I have a mic on as loud as I can possibly go.
Well, I just turned you up almost as high as you can go, so.
I have two mics. This one's more quieter because it gives less background noise.
Understandable.
Because I have a very loud house, and my house is loud.
Same. I'm not in a house, I'm in an apartment.
Well, my apartment is loud. Because no one can be quiet.
Understandable. And there's like an ever growing hum in the background.
That's my computer.
Oh my goodness. My computer does that too.
Because
So,
my computer is absolutely crap. Well,
I
it's not.
understand.
It's not crap per se. It's more, you know, eh,
Yes.
because background noise.
I understand. I understand. So, welcome to my stream, and you are my guest, and I'm doing homework, so it's gonna be a good
So
day.
fun. I'm editing video.
Good. That's what
Well,
I was doing
trying.
before this. I was editing the stream I did on Tuesday.
Yay. Well, not editing per se, but more like adding subtitles.
Oh, what are you adding subtitles to?
A video I really like by a Let's Player who has everyone put subtitles on their videos. I'm not even subtitling anything before, so I'm giving it a shot
That's
and
cool.
seeing how well that goes before I screw that up.
That's a really awesome thing to be doing.
It is.
Let's see.
Because I don't title anything very often, and when I do, usually I don't save it because, yeah, because am shy. I am a shy little potato
That is okay, friend.
because I don't get out. I don't get out.
It's all
I
good.
frequently do, but that's because of my wonderful anxiety.
I am also a pretty anxious person. I hide it really well because I'm an extrovert, but I also am very anxious, which doesn't fit with extroversion.
Uh,
So I seem like I'm doing all good, but then I freak out internally, and then it's like, ah.
oh, that's always fun.
Yeah. I like to think my mental freakouts sound like Tina from Bob's Burgers. Uh, that's my spirit animal.
My freakouts, I'm pretty sure it sound like a violin, like a newbie with a violin.
That's the worst sound on the planet. No offense,
At
but like
the moment.
that first time someone lays the bow across the strings and they just go.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what my freakouts feel like. That's what my freakouts sound like. It's just someone just doing that with a violin, and all you can hear is the screeching of the violin. You can't hear anything else but the violin. You can't even hear the eternal thoughts in your head. All you just hear is the violin.
I think it's very important
Because
because you have to have that scream moment on it. And now I'm talking about real violins. You have to have those moments where it's just screaming and painful because then you get better. But it's the
yes,
worst sound ever. listening to someone play it for the first time. I really admire people that can teach other people violin. I just...
Because who knows how the hell they can do that and have the patience for it.
Because, like, bad violin playing is probably, in my opinion, the worst sound on the planet. I don't know, you could probably find other things and I'd be like, oh no, that's worse. But right now, violin, scream, worst sound on the planet.
Always fun. Not really, no, but...
It's kind of fun. It's fun when people figure it out and learn how to do it, and then it's like, oh my gosh, you play one of the prettiest, coolest instruments ever. You sounded like death a week ago, but good on you. Because at least with like a guitar and a piano, you can kind of fake it. Because I can't play an instrument, but I love writing music on a piano, and I can just sit there and kind of play it for a while. And people are like, that sounds pretty good. And it's like, that's because I can fake it till I make it. But with a violin, it's like, there's no hope. You have to know what you're doing.
Yeah, because you can't fake that.
Nope.
You can't fake that at all. I tried playing guitar once. That didn't work out so well.
Oh no.
Because my friend, who's not my friend anymore, she had for her Christmas, her mom's boyfriend got her a guitar, and it's a really nice looking guitar. And I was like, oh, that's a nice guitar. I think within within a good, cause she never played guitar, so within like a good couple of months, with a month or two, the strings broke.
Mm.
And I'm like, dang. You even had it for like 2 months.
That's like, I have a story. I used to have a mandolin. I couldn't play it, but I had one. And I have a friend that, he's still my friend, but I haven't talked to him in forever. He's one of those you grow up with as a kid, and then you lose touch of friends. He's one of those. And I have great stories about him. And this one time, it was probably one of the last times we hung out. Not because we had a fight over it, but he was hanging out at my house, and he saw my mandolin, and he loved music. So he started trying to tune it, and all of a sudden the string popped, and I just kind of stared at him for a moment, and he was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm like, don't be, I can't play it anyway. So that was a fun day.
I remember when I was back in either elementary or middle, I was in a music class. Yeah, I was in elementary. I was in a music class, and my instrument was a recorder, and I couldn't play that thing for the life of me, because all you could hear was just the high-pitched whistling of me playing the instrument, and I don't know how my mom handled it. Handled the obscene amount of noise that came out of that recorder. I'm like, I can play that thing for the life of me. Then I got a tambourine, and that was so not much fun.
Yeah.
For sure.
In middle school, my mom had the delusion that I wanted to join band, which I did. I wanted to play drums. But when she was in school, she played the trumpet. So she had me join band playing the trumpet, and that was probably the worst experience of my life. So much so that I never pursued instrument music again. I love to sing, and I do stuff with that, but that was the last time I really was like, I want to do a thing. And she's like, you can play the trumpet like I played in high school. It's like, that's awful. I don't want to do that. I want to play the drums. And now when we talk about it, she's like, that's the one selfish thing I tried to relive through you. And I was like, yeah, see how good it turned out? And she's like, it didn't turn out good at all. And I'm like, exactly.
Yet nothing is as it seems.
Nope.
Because you think you have everything, and then you realize it's not that.
Oh, goodness. I'm really frustrated with myself because I've had a cough for a couple of weeks. I should probably go to the doctor, but I'm not going to. And Tuesday I was coughing a lot on the stream, and I didn't realize how much I was coughing until I was editing the 3-hour-long footage earlier today. But like today, I've been good. I haven't coughed at all today. And then as soon as I was getting ready to call you, I was like, I can't do anything. I'm dying. So that's a thing that's going to be happening.
That's mostly me, because I think I don't need glasses. Because I went most of my life from when I was a child up until I was 13 without wearing any glasses. Hit 13, could barely see anything. I'm like, what the heck happened? I can't read this book. What the heck? Found out I was farsighted. So that was a fun experience of me wearing glasses for the first time. And I hated it. Because my best friend, who had the brilliant idea of putting my long curly hair in braids. In 2 braids, and decided that I look cute like that. I'm like, thanks, friend.
What color is your hair?
Black.
Okay. In my brain, because you said curly, and I don't know why, I thought of red hair, so I thought of Gretchen from Recess. Good old 90s cartoons.
Yeah.
Early 2000s.
Fun fact, I am actually planning on dyeing my hair a reddish, a dark red color, because I've had black for almost my entire life. I'm starting to get sick of it.
You will be emo Gretchen. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
I will be Gretchen. Because my hair's short.
Right.
Because if you know anyone who has curly hair, you should know that it's not fun to take care of.
Yeah.
Because it's a pain in the butt. Because it gets tangled no matter what you do. And even if you think you've done it correctly, you don't. I'm like, thanks, hair.
I can only halfway understand that, because when my hair is long, which it has not been in a very, very long time, not even long, just anything below my ears, my hair is naturally wavy, like perfect middle ground between straight and curly. So I have all the downsides of straight hair with all the same downsides of curly hair and none of the benefits of either.
Same.
So
The only benefit is that I hear everyone telling me, oh, but your hair is so pretty. I'm like, yes, it's pretty until you have set hair. On the outside, it looks pretty. You get into the inner workings of having curly hair, and it's like, it's not pretty anymore.
yeah, curly hair is one of those things that I adore to look at, and I would like to have for a day, but I wouldn't want to live with it my whole life. No offense to you who has it, but I know you feel the same.
yeah, pretty much.
That was not meant to be offensive. That's just a matter of... But then again, I mean, all hair is kind of a pain, which is why I don't have any right now.
Yeah, all hair is pretty much a pain.
Yeah, I have a buzz
Cause I'm
cut right now.
Cause I always tell myself I want straight hair because I've lived with curly hair for like 100% of my life, and it's been absolutely annoying.
Yeah. The thing about straight hair is a lot of people straighten their hair to make it look pretty, but when you have natural straight hair, it looks lazy when you show up with straight hair, and it's like whatever. People have this naturally. What?
Yeah.
That person over there spent like 4 hours straightening their hair. I have the same hairdo right now, and it looks lazy on me.
Yeah, it looks lazy on anybody.
It reminds me there is a it's been a long time since I've seen this, but there was a Tumblr post about it was like a little art post that was super cute, and it was about a girl who spent like not 4 hours in the morning, but like a full hour straightening her hair and getting it into a nice neat ponytail, and everyone being like, you just threw your hair up in a ponytail and you're late for class and you look super lazy. And then in the next couple of panels, it's her rushing to class, and she's like, sorry I'm late, and she hadn't done her hair, so it was super curly. Hold on, my mom is calling.
Oh, what?
Hey, Mom. My first week of school was good. How nice. Yeah. Set up my bank account stuff? I was trying to text you, I already did that. This is like the third time I've asked you a question and then I figure it out before you can really message me back. I sent it to you right before you texted me, and then again right after you texted me. Yes, you told me there's no service in her house. I, I texted you, I can't find it, and then a few minutes later I texted, oh, found it. Yeah, I got that done. I'm on top of things. I'm kind of an adult doing adult things and figuring out life. I like my room. I like my apartment. Not yet. I haven't finished unpacking yet. I love all my classes, yeah. Yeah, I'm working on homework right now, so yes. If I was at Monty, I would not have answered, probably. Yeah, I haven't had any issues so far, so every time I've seen them, they've been perfectly pleasant, and the rest of the time they're completely absent, so yeah. Yes. So yeah, I plan to do that tomorrow. Every day I check the dishwasher and the same stuff has been in there, which kind of concerns me. And I haven't had to go, and I haven't used that many dishes, so I just hand wash them as I use them because I have that habit. But I haven't gone up to the laundry, and I'm afraid of opening the laundry and seeing soured, moldy clothes in there, just based on my experience with the dishwasher. So, uh, I don't know. It's been in there since we moved in. But anyway, tomorrow Britt and I are going to the commissary, so. Yeah. It's alright. We talked about that before you left, so. About scales. We talked about that before you left for Aunt Margie's. I'll check. Okay. Well, have fun with your drive. I can't keep working on this one handed, so. Love you too. Bye bye. My mom is cool. I promise.
My mom is cool too. I'm starting college. Well, technically, I'm starting uh, getting my GED. Well, I'm signing for my GED next Monday.
Okay.
It's going to be so not fun, but I have to do it. Because it's important that I do it.
I enjoy college, so. Of course, then again, me doing college, I'm an art student learning animation, and I love doing that, so.
And I'm a writer learning how to make writing my career.
Ah, one of my roommates last year was a dramatic writing major.
Yeah, my father has no hope in me
Oh.
in becoming a writer. He's like, well, if you want to put food on the table, you should think of making writing your second like a backup job. I'm like, thanks, Dad.
No. See, what you gotta do, and see, we're friends now, even though I don't know your name.
My name is Maria, but my boyfriend calls me Mari.
Nice to meet you, Mari. Maria. My name is Min. That's my preferred name. Yeah. So, but there are actually a lot of jobs in writing if you're good at storytelling. And
Which I am, because I spent like most of my life writing.
yeah. But most of the jobs are in like entertainment, like movie entertainment. And the best way to get people to see your vision is if you can do storyboards or make animatics. Or if you have a friend who's an animator or good at making those things, have them help you on those things.
Cause yeah, I have like an obscene amount of friends who draw.
Yeah.
I have more friends who draw than more friends who write. I was like, I'm the only person in my group of friends who actually writes. Don't know whether to throw that or not.
That's actually a pretty good ratio, I think, for a writer. Because, and this isn't true of all artists because I don't count myself in this category, but there are a lot of people who are artists that love to do art that can't make up good stories. I like to think I'm a mediocre artist and a mediocre storyteller, but I can do both.
That's my friend. That's one of my friends. That's my boyfriend. He sucks at he's great at drawing, sucks at writing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, huh? I'm great at writing. I suck at drawing because my friend or my ex-friend Liz is planning on getting married to her girlfriend. And she asked everyone to design a pair of rings. And I realized that my drawing skills are crap. I said, I'll do it, without remembering my drawing skills are crap. So as I started drawing the first ring, I went, oh my god, my drawing skills are horrible. I kept drawing it anyways. I'm like, I'm never gonna learn if I don't draw. I did it on my computer, and it took me 2 days to do it. So, hooray for me trying to draw and it coming out crap.
I'm proud of you for trying at least. There are some people that are like, I can't draw, and then they don't even try.
I've tried multiple times. Because everyone's, oh, yeah, because it's true. Because everyone always says, oh, I can't draw, but they never try. And then there's me who tries, who says, I can't draw, tries, sucks at drawing, but still tries again. Because there's always that one hope of one day I'll actually get good at it. Or at least decently good at it. Nope, can't give up. Because I tried drawing Yami once. And that was back when I was an absolute newbie and had no idea what the hell I was doing. So I tried drawing Yami once. That didn't work out so well. Because I got one, because I was trying to draw his face, get one half his face done, could not replicate the other half. Didn't realize in paint, you could just take that set image, draw one side of his face, and then just duplicate it. That way it's on the same side. I'm like, how do I know? I can redraw it. There we go. It worked out well.
Part of that, though, is that Yu-Gi-Oh! Characters are just extremely difficult to draw.
They are.
They don't follow any kind of proportions or anything. And this is coming from someone who drew them forever when I got into the fandom.
They don't have any proportional logic.
No, not even a little bit. I just stole a picture from the internet that I'm going to use as a reference. It's not actually a bad thing, but there are going to be people when I post this on YouTube that's like, you're cheating! And it's like, it's not cheating. This is what real animators do. They just take people's shit and put it on a thing.
Pretty much.
My screen design professor, who is the teacher I'm doing this for, and I'm not going to say his name in this episode because I'm repeating him and it's kind of a controversial thing, but he was like, a lot of teachers will tell you not to take stuff off the internet. I don't care. Take whatever soundtracks you want. Take whatever reference you want. If you want it, steal it. Don't pay for anything. And I was like, you are the best kind of teacher.
Yeah, because I think I took the reference from Yami Yugi off the internet, and I went, probably should, because every single icon I've used for every single blog, I just got off the internet.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to go through the trouble of having to draw it myself, so I'm going to take it from the internet. That spends a whole lot of time, and a whole lot of looking at pictures and going, what the hell is this?
There are a lot, and it actually makes me as a creator a little, like, I don't know, it makes me feel like a witch hunt kind of deal, where it's like people assume that when you use reference, you're cheating or stealing, and it's like, no.
My friend, I think everyone uses references when they draw.
They're supposed to use references when they draw.
Like, my friend, my boyfriend, everyone in my group of friends who draws uses references, because it's nice, like, they're not gonna magically remember it off the top of their head. Because if you remember a character really well, that's great for you. You still need that reference to figure out where their hair lays, where their eyes go, how are their clothes wrinkled, are they not wrinkled?
Yeah,
Stuff
reference
like
is super important.
Stuff like that, we need to remember shit. Or else it'll just become like one gigantic blob. Because back when I started drawing, and it should be somewhere on my computer, I had a drawing, and I used to be, I think it was back when I rewatched Nanoha for the first time, and I went, that's cool, I'll try to draw it. I drew it. And it was horrible. And I went, never do it again. Never ever draw it again.
Never again.
You are done drawing. I had it, and then I went, I looked at it, I went, Huh, that's cool. Had the stupidest idea of coloring it in on my computer. Never again. I mean, it looks very blank. It was a very messy drawing that I could not clean up on my computer. And I'm like, well, okay, I'm done with that. Because, yeah, drawing is fun when you realize that you suck at it, but you still do it anyways.
Drawing is just, it's a good thing, I think. Regardless of if people are good and bad, drawing is just a good thing. It's the universal language.
Yeah, because
Pe-
I guess writing in a way is like it's like drawing a picture because when you're writing, you're kind of like making a picture of what the character's doing, what they're saying, where they are as a whole. Because that you're giving the viewer or you're giving the reader an image of what you're doing.
Well, yeah, that's like, okay, so for me the difference between writing, and this goes for between writing and between drawing, but drawing including animation and film and anything that's like visual storytelling. When you write a book, you leave a lot up to the reader's interpretation, and you draw the picture straight into their brain. But when you're telling a story visually, you don't leave them any wiggle room to figure stuff out. Or at least you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to, like, draw the outlines of a character, but not any definition of the character and say, in your brain, imagine this person looks this way. It's like, no, you just draw it for them. So,
Yeah, pretty much. That's like a rule of writing that most people do. That some people do follow. Like you're giving, it's all up to the interpretation of the reader of where they are, what they look like, what are they wearing.
yeah.
It's like show don't tell.
Exactly. Show don't tell, even though you are telling them exactly what's happening. Okay, so being the almost mediocrely decent writer I am, I know that the show don't tell thing in writing means show them a mental picture with words. But if you really want to show them the artist part of me, the one who draws things for people, who is literally show, says, but you're telling them what you show them.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's hard being both. Or mediocrely so both.
It is. It's hard. I've had a wonderfully awesome time finding pictures for blogs because they always end up in some kind of weirdness. There's usually three things I find. The first thing is the thing I'm looking for. The second thing is something that's absolutely awesome, but kind of awfully awesome. And the third thing is porn.
That is, yeah.
Because there's always somewhere when you're searching for anything anime related, there's always the rule 34 of where there's porn or something and it's in there and it's could be the thing you're searching for.
Yep, that good old rule number 34. I need to take a short break. We are about, I don't know how long in we are. Or, I don't know, probably not even an hour, about 36 minutes. So, I'll be right back. Now's a good time to take a break.
Okay.
Whee! Okie dokie, I am back.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm trying to figure out where this writing is going. I write too many stories.
No such thing
But
as too
right?
many stories.
That is true. Because I put stories in 2 different outlets. One popular and one very, very popular. But that's the thing, you're lucky if you get traffic.
Yee.
Because it could go either way. It can go really good, or it could go really crappy.
I'm gonna
There's
reblog.
such thing as a bad writer. As the same person who sucks at writing.
I don't agree there's no such thing as a bad writer. Partly because I am overcritical of other people and myself. And I count myself in mediocre. So. I don't know who this blog is. Another blog asked me if they could join the stream, and I don't even know who they are. They in the reply thing they said their user is Yandanaki. I can't say things, but they said, "Yo, can I?" And then they said, "Oh, oops, I realized someone already said something." And I'm like, "Who are you? Wait." I don't. Yeah. They're not an RP blog, so nothing against RP blogs non-RP blogs following me, but that means I have no idea who they are.
Same.
So I don't know. I would like
to have people in there who I know.
Yeah. Like
it makes it more familiar.
Yes. Like I'm willing to follow anyone who follows me. Normally I don't follow people back until I've read their rules and character descriptions. So whenever I follow people back, that's my little, hey, I've read all your stuff thing. But, and I don't mind talking to people I barely know. Like, even though I really enjoy being with you, I feel like I barely know you because we've done, like, 2 threads.
Yeah.
So.
That's particularly my fault because I'm a shy little potato.
It's okay. A lot of people say I seem really intimidating at first, and I'm like, why? I'm a doofus. So.
We are all doofuses.
Yeah. I'm not going to say who because they might be a guest star another day, but there's a blog who I need to check on because I haven't heard from her in a while. But she was like, I remember a time when I thought you were scary, and I was like, oh? And she's like, now I just know you're dumb. And I'm like, oh. And she said, I mean that in a loving way. I'm like, of course you do. No, that's not how she phrased it because she doesn't like saying loving, but.
Oh, yeah. People say that I seem distant. I was like, that's because I'm shy. If you know me in online or in real life, you know that I am a total doofus and a total weirdo. But I am like the nicest person you will ever meet in your entire life.
Ye.
It's like I don't see that bad.
Did you disappear? It got really quiet. Oh dear. Hello. Hello. Nope. There she went. Okay. You died, friend. Would you like to try again? Oh, I haven't designed the mother yet. Okay, so the girl is over here. And she's a running. I was starting to type. I think the connection broke. Wanna try again. But I had the pen in my mouth, so no one knew what I was saying. And now I think Skype is frozen. Completely and totally frozen. Skype. 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 I think the call dropped and now my Skype is frozen, period. So that is a thing. Want to try again? Question mark. I've gotten super lazy on my phone with the tap to speak. Skype. Skype. Okay. That's Psy. I don't need to run Psy. I need Skype to work. Maybe if I sign out and sign back in, that'll be a thing. This is gonna be an ordeal. The girl, okay, so the girl, that's awful posing. The girl is gonna run to see her mother. Okay, period. I am going to restart Skype, period. And Hey. I am restarting Skype on my computer, so I answered on my phone. So. It used to be really it's never been really dependable. I would love to say that it has been at one time in my life. It'll get better and then it'll get worse. Sometimes it'll be like really good for a while and then all of a sudden it'll be crap and then it's like, you got my hopes up and then destroyed them. So. And now it's like, I don't recognize your password. And it's freezing again. And I hate everything. I don't know. Florida, even with Disney, has never really drawn my attention. Which Florida is better than where I'm actually from. Now I live in Georgia, but I was born and raised on a farm in Alabama.
Oh, fun.
So, and there's a joke in Alabama that may offend other people, but it's thank God we're not Mississippi, which I think is funny, but it's also super sad. I don't know. I would rather live in the most rural part in Florida than to go back where I came from. No offense to my family that still lives there, because most of my family is great, but there are too many homophobic people, and just as a Christian, there are too many crazy religious people. As a Christian, there are too many crazy Christians. Can't stay there. I'll be burned as a witch.
Yeah. Florida's kind of okay.
See, the thing about Florida, at least from an outsider perspective, Florida for a long time had a lot of people from up north who migrated down south. So, at least from what I understand, they're not as southern can be. But there are places that are.
Yeah. Florida's kind of like that mixed bag of who are you gonna get when you come into Florida? The Southerners or the Northerners? And usually it's a mix of both. Because you have a place somewhere in the gigantic place that is called Florida. There's a small, really horrible town called, and I hope I don't butcher this name, but it's called Timberscant. And my two best friends used to live there, and it was a very small, condensed place that's really run down and really horrible and has a shit ton of crime, like any other state.
Yeah, every state has at least one of those cities.
And Florida has multiple of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because, Florida seems to have those. We also have a lot of Walmarts.
Walmarts are something.
Walmarts are different. Walmart is a mixed bag of where you're gonna find the weirdest people.
That is true. I've met some of the weirdest people at Walmart. I personally believe Walmart is evil, but I also still shop there, so...
Same.
They kill small business, and they don't pay their workers enough, but I'm a college student, and it's cheaper. Actually, right now, it's not cheaper, because I don't have a car, and I can't pay for a Uber to go over there, so... I don't shop at Walmart when I'm at school, only when I'm at home. Did I just say I don't shop at Uber?
Yes.
I don't shop at Uber.
I only go shopping at Walmart with my parents because I still live at home with my parents. Hopefully I get to change that sometime this year when I actually get a job after I get out of college, after I get my GED. Just pick a place to work, get it, save up money, and then move out as soon as I can. Because I don't want to be 18, going on 19, and going to college and living at home with my parents, because I need peace and quiet.
Understandable.
Because peace and quiet is important.
Peace and quiet is important.
It's important when you're concentrating, because I don't get that in this house. I don't get that in my parents' apartment, because it's so fun.
Well, if you go to school in the general area of Savannah, I could always put you up for a couple of nights. I say in the most creepy way possible. If I'm even still here, I may be gone by the time you get over here. I don't know.
Who knows? Because the college I'm going to is actually in a very close proximity to my house. But shockingly enough, there's an apartment complex right behind a shopping center that's right across the street from my college. So basically, there's a college I want to go to. There's a shopping center, and then behind that shopping center is lined with like trees and stuff. There's an apartment complex. So basically, I can go shopping and go to college.
Sounds pretty good.
And I'm like, how much does that apartment cost? Probably a lot of money, but I don't care. I just need to get out of here. Because it's not. Because I just recently turned 18.
E.
It's been almost about 2 days since I turned 18. And I'm like, I'm an adult. I've been an adult for 2 days. I'm already hating it.
Being an adult is the worst.
Yeah, it is. Because I've been 18 for 2 days. Meaning, I've been an adult for 2 days. And it's that moment in your life where you're just like, I want to be a teenager again. I want to be 15 and naive.
The nice thing about being 18 is that 18 and 19, you have all the stress of being an adult, yet also none of the respect of being an adult because you're still technically a teenager.
Yeah.
I just turned 20 last March, so I'm about halfway through being 20. And yeah.
Because I just started going to because I just turned 18. I was like, I told my mom, because Mom, the day of my birthday, she said, now you're an adult, and all you can just hear me, it's just groaning.
I don't want to be an adult.
All you can hear, because my father's taking pictures, and I'm smiling. My teeth are showing, I'm smiling, and my mom, out of the corner of my eye, says, now you're an adult, which means you have responsibilities. And all you can just hear me for the entire time we're taking pictures, my father's taking pictures of me, it's just me loudly groaning. Just groaning through my teeth. Just, But then, not even a day after that, I was like, I told my father, like, do you have a magical time machine?
I feel like if parents had a magical time machine, they would have used it on themselves by now.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm like, did you ever have a magical time machine? Like, do you guys have a magical time machine to where I'm not 18 and not an adult and don't have responsibilities? No? Okay.
I never wanted to be an adult. If you go back to my youngest years, like even into preschool, there is recorded evidence of me say, when people ask me what do you want to be when I grow up, and I say, do I have to grow up?
That was when I turned 17 and I realized, oh god, I'm turning into an adult. As soon as I turned 18, like, as soon as I got closer to my 18th birthday, I realized, I'm gonna be turning to an adult. And I had that emotional freak out. What you all heard was the violin. A beginner playing the violin for the first time. And I was like, oh, I'm an adult now. Can someone kill me? Can someone take me back in time? At least like 2 years before this.
It makes me feel like a traitor to the kids next door.
I'm like, just to tell my past self, don't turn 18. Whatever you do, don't turn 18. Run as far away as you can.
What is your past self supposed to do with that information? You just show up from the future. You have the gall to show up from the future, and your past self is like, how am I supposed to stop it? And you're like, I don't know. You have the years to figure it out. Me, I'm already suffering, so see ya. Please erase my timeline where I turn 18.
Plan to fix all this. Just turn around and run away.
I don't care how you do it, just fix it. Adult me, you're the worst. I'm trying to protect us both.
I'm trying to protect the sanity that you still have. I'm trying to protect the last bit of sanity that you still have. Because turning 18 is the worst. Becoming an adult is the worst.
It really is. Ugh.
Like, and my brother's like, so since you're at 18 now, does that mean, since you're 18, that means you're an adult? I'm like, thank you, Kenny. Thank you for being the best brother in the entire world. Remind me of that fact. I love you too. Because I'm planning on getting my learner's permit. Hopefully sometime next week, if I can. Sometime next week. And my brother, first thing he asked me when I start my course was, when you get a car, can you drive me to the local game shop? I'm like, no, I won't. Me getting my learner's permit was not so I could drive you around and be your chauffeur. You have Dad for that. Ask Dad. He can go with you. I'm like, I'm not your servant, nor am I not your chauffeur. He's like, but I'm like, no. I like you too, but I love you, but not love you that much to drive you places. So he keeps asking me, can you get a car? Can you take me to McDonald's? Like, no. Well, I turn 18, I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Bye. I don't care about you guys. I don't care about you guys. I'm getting out of here. See ya. Just as soon as I find an apartment, it gets approved. I'm like, nope, packing my crap, getting the hell out of here. I've lived with you guys for 18 years. I can't live with you for 18 more. I'll live with my boyfriend. Not away from here. Not in this household. I'll be living away from here, where I won't have to live in a room with my brother.
And people say millennials don't like getting out of their parents' houses.
I pray for the day I'd get out of my parents' house. I told myself, because back when I was 17, I already started looking for an apartment. My boyfriend's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm looking for an apartment to get the hell out of here as fast as I possibly can. I don't want to tell my mom until it's too late. When I get an apartment, I'll tell her then. When she's finally packing my crap, packing everything in my room, I'll be like, oh yeah, I found an apartment, bye!
See ya, I'm out of here.
I can't live with you anymore. I'll be in the next county over. Don't visit me.
Do not visit. You are not welcome.
Just send her a text every day, do not visit me until I say it's okay.
Let me get my stuff together before you come see me.
Never.
That's how I would be, is like, let me get my stuff together before you visit me, and then you can come for like 5 minutes. And then you gotta get out.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. My parents...
Come in 5 minutes, get out.
Yeah, that's how I would be with my dad, because I get along okay with my dad, but he's really loud and obnoxious. But my mom, it's like, I have a blow-up mattress for anyone who visits, and she was the first one who got to stay on it. And my mom, I don't like my mom hanging around all the time, but I can tolerate her a little bit longer than my dad.
Same. My brother, I could tolerate him for 5 minutes. Put me in a room with him, give me 5 minutes, and I'll be sick of him. Like, okay, I'm done. 5 minutes, I go now. I love him to death, but he annoys the crap out of me.
One of the benefits of being an only child.
One of the benefits of being an only child.
I'm an only child, so I don't have to deal with that. My dad is it's sad to say my dad is the closest thing to a brother I've ever had because he acts like a 12-year-old, but with the power of a father. Like, he'll pick fights with me, and then when I get sick of it and I try and fight him back, I get in trouble. So it's like, dude, why are you an asshole? You pick the fight, and then as soon as I fight back, you pull the dad card? That's not how it's supposed to work. Probably one of the reasons I can't tolerate being around my dad too long anymore. Like, as soon as he starts doing that stuff, it's like, nope, sorry, I'm checking out. I'm gonna go this way. I don't know what this mother is gonna look like.
My father's kind of like that in the sense that it's always, oh yeah, he can mess with me, and I can mess with him. He won't pull out the dad card, but I can mess with him. Which is totally great.
Yeah.
I say in my head.
I don't know what the mother in this drawing should look like. Or not this drawing, but in the animatic should look like. Hello? Oh, there you are. Okay.
That's always so fun.
It's like I have her rough outline, and I know I want her to wear a long dress, so when the girl runs up and hugs her, the dress will be like all flowy. Not like long, fancy, but just like down to her ankles. You're not in the stream, so you can't see what I'm doing. Hold on.
I should have the stream up. I can find it pretty easily.
You don't have to have the stream up. I can just share screens with you. Can you see my screen? On Skype?
Yes.
Okay. So this is what I've been working on the background right here.
Fine.
That's what I was doing until now. And then I have the mom sketched here and the girl is on this layer. But I don't know what the mom's gonna look like. Like, I know what the little girl's gonna look like because the little girl is seen not in that panel. Well, she is in those panels, but not right now. She looks like... There's the little girl. So I know what the little girl looks like, and I know what the little boy looks like. But I don't know what the mom's gonna look like. She only has like 3 or 4 appearances. I should save before I lose all my progress and die.
Fun.
But... So... I don't want... Like, I shouldn't be putting as much thought into the mother as I am. Because she only shows up, like... She shows up in this scene, and then she shows up in the scene where the little girl is getting ready to go to bed. And then she shows up during a montage where the little girl is looking for a lost dog. So... I could give her, like, the anime mother death ponytail.
Everyone's going to die.
You know what...
Mom ponytail.
You know what I'm talking about, that ponytail that's, like, tied really low and slightly over her shoulder?
Yeah.
That ponytail. I could give her that, and she could be the first... Well, it's not technically anime, but she could be the first quote-unquote anime mom that never dies.
Because every anime mom who's going to die always wears that point.
It's true, though.
If you ever watch anime and want to figure out which mom's going to die, just find the one who's wearing a little ponytail. You'll find it really quickly.
It looks something like this. It's low, and then it comes up over the shoulder. Something like that.
The first anime mom that doesn't die.
The first anime ponytail mom that doesn't die.
That would be a first for anime.
Technically, it's not anime when I draw it because I'm a Westerner, and we call it cartoons over here because we're dumb. But it's the concept of the anime mom not dying.
Which is always fun.
Yeah. I don't have to over-design her. I just need to have a general concept for what she looks like. Give her poofy sleeves on her shirt.
So I got the greatest birthday present for my birthday.
What is your birthday present, friend?
The Yu-Gi-Oh manga. The first 2 volumes.
Oh my goodness. That's a pretty good present.
Yes, because I teach on the teach about Yu-Gi-Oh! And I wanted it, and my birthday money didn't come in because my grandfather had forgot. So my father is like, oh, because he kind of knew that I wanted it really badly. So he went, I'll buy it for you. I went, like, what? He's like, they're $9, they're $9 a piece, right? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I'll buy you first 2 volumes. So that was my birthday present.
That's a pretty good birthday present.
And I'm like, I finally got the thing I wanted for like months. And I gotta put it somewhere and read it sometime because I have a ton of manga. And another manga volume that I haven't read, which is Shigatara, the first volume of the manga that I haven't read. I'm like, great job, Kelly. You're making no time for the manga you're supposed to read because school.
School is the enemy of fun. Unless you're doing something you love, like me.
Yeah, school is everything. For me, school takes up 99.9% of everything I want, all the fun I want to do.
During my last stream, we actually had, me and my other friend, a long conversation about school and how hiring bad teachers is harmful to student education, and how school is important and yet the biggest waste of time our generation faces. Because education is important to the masses, but we don't have education that is good. So...
Pretty much.
And then we also...
Pretty much everything.
Yeah, and then we also had a conversation that I had the example on my way down to Savannah, and if I put this on YouTube, this is the second time they're hearing the story. But on my way down to Savannah, I stayed the night with my cousin, who is in her 80s. Her name is Suella, and me, my mom, and Suella were having a conversation around the table about politics. Not a super heavy conversation, because we're all kind of like super chill and mellow about everything, but it came up in the conversation. My mom was like, Min was a big Bernie supporter, and Suella was like, I don't know much about Bernie Sanders. I know a lot of the young people like him because he would make college free. And I was like, that is a and this was the only time I got super fired up during the whole conversation. I was like, that is a misconception, because if college was made free, it would not benefit people who are in college right now. It would benefit the people who have college later. And she was like, topic change, because and this may not be true for the whole generation, but I feel as though most of us that supported the free college understood that we would not be the ones getting free college. It would be the kids that come after us.
Pretty much.
Especially,
You still have to pay for everything.
yeah, and it especially offended me because I go to a private school, like a private institution, because SCAD is a private college. So even if it was implemented in our time, I would not get free college because mine is a private institution. So it was almost like people saying, you're voting so you can get something free. And it's like, I understand that even if it became free in the time I'm in school, that I would not reap the benefit of it, and I still support it. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Pretty much.
So, I don't know. I get really upset when millennial stereotypes are talked about in front of me because the whole idea of a millennial is something that doesn't exist. Like the whole, they're always on their phones, and it's like, you know who else is always on their phones? My mom and my dad, and sometimes dogs. That is taken from a thing that Adam Conover did on millennials. But it's true. Like, I was at the beach down in Florida the week before, not the whole week, but a few days before I came back to school, and there wasn't much data. And Dad was using data the first day, and we almost ran out because my dad, we have a 30 gig plan, and my dad uses 28 of those gigs. I don't know. I think it's like, why do you do that? But the whole, and like while we were on the trip, we got the message that it's like, well, at that point we had 20 gigs of data, but we got the message that's like, you've used 90% of your data, and I was like, okay. So I just turned it off and only used it late at night before I went to bed. But the whole flippin' trip, Mom was like, I don't have any data. And I'm like, shut up. You're supposed to be having vacation with us. So.
That's always fun.
And it's like, why do millennials get the whole phone obsessed thing when my 51-year-old mom is the one freaking out that there's no data at the hotel? Like, I was a little upset there was no internet at the hotel, but I don't want to waste my data on a vacation. I have to use that when I'm moving into my apartment when I don't know how to use their internet. So that was fun. And it's like, it's little things like that people assume millennials are the ones that do it when it's the Gen Xers. And that was something that happened on vacation. Dad, we went to IHOP, and Dad was like, he was making fun of millennials, and he was like, you millennials and Gen Xers, and I just looked at him, and I'm like, you're a Gen Xer. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah. He's like, seriously? I'm like, yeah. You are Generation X. He's like, can I be a millennial? I was like, no. He's like, damn it.
Millennials aren't fun.
He's like, I'd rather be a millennial than a Gen Xer. It's like, you're a Gen Xer. So, I don't know. There's the whole stigma that millennials live with their parents and don't want to work. And it's like, no, millennials live with their parents because they can't get work. And they can't get work until they go to college, but they have to have money to go to college. We could fix the education system so they have basic skills when they come out of high school, but no one wants to spend money on the next generation and education. So, yeah. I don't know. I get super fired up about it. It's one of the whole generation before not helping the next generation just pisses me off. It's like, I want to help the people that come after me. Not saying that I would like it if y'all help me, but I mean, it would be nice if you at least cared and didn't blame us for all the problems that we're going to have to inherit from you. Anyway. Changing the subject because I feel myself getting fired up and angry. How does this mom look? Does she look like a mother?
Yes.
I probably shouldn't have shaded her as much as I did, but I wanted her to look kind of important. But not solid white. Actually, I'm going to make the top of her dress darker. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. But not as much as I did. There we go. Okay. So there's the mother. And then the little girl I gotta go draw. I'm super excited about this project. We don't even have a due date for it, and I'm already working on it. Ugh.
Apartments cost so much.
They do. I honestly, in the end, it's gonna be cheaper for me, but if it wasn't, my dad's in the military and he was deployed overseas, so I get GI Bill benefits. So every month I get about $700 housing, which is really nice. And I wouldn't be able to pay for my apartment if I didn't get that. But it's like, in the end it'll be cheaper because I'm paying for the apartment up front, whereas and my parents have to apply for loans to do the dorms that I've been living in for the past 2 years. So there are going to be less loans, and technically all this money is coming out of my pocket instead of my parents' pockets. So I always wanted to pay for part of my schooling, and housing should be a good place to start.
Housing is always a good place to start.
Mm-hmm. Part of the reason I needed housing was because my freshman year of college, I bought and snuck 2 guinea pigs into the dorms, and we weren't supposed to have pets. So, and then I hid them the entirety of my sophomore year, and I was never caught. But I got to the point where I was like, I'm tired of hiding them. I'm gonna get an apartment where I can keep them. And it's also gonna be nice because that means I don't have to go home next summer because I'm paying for an apartment and not the dorms. And moving out is a pain in the butt.
Moving is a pain in the butt.
It really, really is. I thought moving into the dorms was going to be painful, but moving into the apartment was hard because this is the first time I'm literally moving my residency, and now this is literally my residency, and it's not like a school apartment because my parents are moving out of their house and don't have they moved out and they're renting it. And they're staying in a different building that they used to own for work reasons. And so half the time they're in the office, and the other half of the time they're staying in a trailer. So I have the most stable, permanent residence that the lease will be up in a year for. But then I can renew it if the dorms... My apartments are right next to dorms because I can't drive and don't have a car. And I like taking the bus. And if the school sells the apartments next door, which they might because the lease is up for that, I'll have to move then. But I won't have to leave Savannah. I can just find another apartment. All good things. I'm excited about life. It's going to be awful. Is that how a hand goes? That's close enough to how a hand goes. She only needs 4 fingers, kind of. I had 3, and then I was like, I'll throw in another one. Might as well.
Just throw another finger.
She doesn't need a finger on the other side, though, because you won't be able to see her hand. The nice thing about the animatic assignment is the things don't have to be well drawn. They just have to tell a story. So that's a good thing. As long as I can tell my story, they're good.
I remember I used to live near, well, not used to, but my mom still works near a place called Altamont Springs, which is near my city. And they have this gigantic condominium that's really, really tall. This is near a park.
Mm-hmm.
And they have concerts. Then like, you put a condominium across Chicago Park, where if they play concerts, that's all you can hear is just the loud music.
But think about it from people who like really like concerts but don't like to pay for tickets. Because I would do that.
It worked out for them.
It doesn't work out for the people who thought it would be a good idea for a nice quiet condominium in the middle of a park, but it works out great for the people who knew they'd be getting free music. I need to take another short break, and then when I get back, I would like to tell you about the story I'm working on, and you critique it for me since you're a writer. How's that sound?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, I'll be right back. Let's see, and I'm back.
Hi.
Hello!
Tell me your webcam. No.
Tell you what cams? What?
FBI director says you should cover your webcam with tape.
That is a true thing, especially if you're afraid of people spying on you.
Well, I'll cover it eventually.
That's what I tell myself, because I like to think that if someone was going to stalk me or use my camera, the light would come on like it's supposed to, which it probably won't. That's probably really wishful thinking. I feel like if someone could hack into my camera, they could turn off the light. But I don't know. I don't know why anyone would be interested in stalking me, which again is a dumb reason not to worry about it, but
I think everyone thinks that, like, what in my life would be interesting enough for them to stalk me?
my face is stupid, so I mean, I'm never nude. My face is really dumb. Nothing interesting here. But anyway, so my story, so I should probably tell you about the assignment before I tell you about the story. And it will be interrupted between me working on replies and me talking about it and me drawing. But the assignment is for my screen design class. And which is basically a animation storytelling class. And it's our first assignment, and what we're supposed to do is make an animatic... I can't hear you anymore. Did the connection die again? Blink if you can hear me. I feel like you're gonna disappear. Well, that's a thing that happened. It's okay. I heard it. I heard like the faint static on your end go completely dead, and I was like, "This is what happened last time she dropped." So I was like, so I stopped in the middle of my storytelling because I didn't want to continue, and then it dropped. So I just kind of waited, and I'm like, blink if you can hear me. So I'm
My
gonna
Wi-Fi,
go ahead.
my Wi-Fi is probably horrible, but Discord won't do that to me. At least I don't think so. I've never called anyone on Discord before.
Wi-Fi has always been my issue with Skype when I'm home or at my parents' house.
Wi-Fi is okay where I live, I guess. Technically, depends.
It's good enough.
It's good. That's what everyone says. It's good enough.
It's good enough.
It's good enough. I don't need to worry about it.
Yeah. I'm gonna do these 2 replies and then tell you the story of my assignment because it'll be on the stream recording, but what I did, because I don't want anyone who's faster at animating and making animatics to steal my idea. For the video I'm gonna post on YouTube, I cut out the entire part where I was explaining the story and put a little black screen that said, it's I was like, so the story is, and then I cut it, and then I cut to where I say, and that's the end of the story, and between that is just a black screen that says over the front, you don't get to hear it, and there's elevator music playing for a couple of seconds. I used the elevator music gag 3 times in that episode, so I'm gonna have to figure out something else in the next episode.
Elevator music is the best.
It's pretty great. When I was editing, I was like, there needs to be something here.
And the elevator music.
Yeah. Because, I heard in my brain, there should be just some kind of floaty music that isn't really great but isn't bad. And I was like, so I looked up, I Googled elevator music, and I found an hour-long piece of elevator music. So I just trimmed a couple of seconds out of that.
Amazing. We are smart.
Yes. Okay. I'm not gonna do those replies because my brain is like, what are replies? Anyway. So, our screen design class, it's our first assignment, and we have to make an animatic with sound, and the prompt is Lost Dog. And I don't know if this happens to you as a writer, but what happens to me a lot of the times when I come up with a really good story is as soon as I'm given the prompt, my brain has already come up with the beginning, a little bit of the middle, and the end / twist at the end. And then I have to fill in everything in between. So he said the prompt is Lost Dog. And here is the story that before class was over had already come into my brain. So the story is about this girl who is on her way home from school, and in the first set of panels, I'm not sharing screens anymore. Hold on, I can show you in just a second. I don't have all the panels finished, but I can show you at least a little bit when I get the share screen up. That is the wrong. This is the right. Sorry. I kept pulling up the wrong tabs. Okay. So, the story starts with this scene of just the street, and then the boy comes into the frame, and then the girl and the boy come into the frame, and then the girl runs up to catch up with the boy, and she catches up with him just in time to exit the screen. And basically the story from there goes, they're walking, and then she breaks apart from him when she gets home and runs up to her mom, that's the scene I'm drawing right now, where she runs up to say hi to her mom. And the boy is like, oh, there she goes into her house, and he watches her go in, and then the mom gives the boy a dirty look, And then he walks off and it reveals that it's a full moon. And then it cuts to a scene where the girl is getting ready for bed and the mom goes past her room and is like, go to bed. And the little girl is like, I'm going to bed. And so the girl gets ready for bed and lays down, and all of a sudden she hears howling outside her window. So she goes downstairs and there's this cute little dog there. So she spends the whole night playing with this dog, and then getting close to morning, the dog runs off into the forest and doesn't return. So the girl looks for the dog. There's this whole, because the theme is lost dog. And so there's this whole montage of the girl making these lost dog posters. And she makes the posters, and then she gets her friend that we see at the beginning of the thing, and they go around putting up the posters, and then there's a montage of her sitting on the porch, and around her, stuff is changing. Like, it'll be day, and then, like, while she's sitting in the same place, it'll, like, every, like, half a second it'll change from day to night to rain to sun, just different stuff. And about however long the lunar cycle is, that many changes. And then it is a full moon again, and she's laying in bed and looks super sad, and then she hears howling outside her window again. So she gets up and she grabs this little box and she runs outside and she starts playing with the dog, and she puts this bright red collar around the dog's neck. Like, the whole thing in the animatic so far is black and white, and this will actually be colored red when she puts it on the dog. So she puts the collar on the dog, and they play, and then it gets to morning, and the dog runs off, and she chases after the dog, and she loses sight of the dog, and all of a sudden she bumps into her friend who has his big fluffy coat pulled tightly around his, like, his shoulders. And she's like, come on, the dog just went that way. Come with me, help me real quick, he's that way. And she, like, runs past him and keeps running. And then the boy lowers his coat, and we see, the last frame is we see the collar is around his neck. And that's the end.
Aww, that's cute.
Yeah. And I want it...
Never know.
And she'll never know. So I would like critiques on my story, because I want it to be awesome.
I can't find any problem with it, because usually as a writer, it's like, I critique myself. Because I look at my writing, or I'm like, I do my writing, I'm like, it's crap. And I have one of my friends like, it's really good. I'm like, no, it's not, it's crap.
See, I know I make really good stories, but especially, I'm thinking that animatic-wise I'm going to be pretty good at telling them, but when it comes to writing them, I'm awful at writing a story. Like, I'm bad at putting it down on paper. I'm great at coming up with the twists and turns and the little hints and all the little details, but I'm really bad at putting it on paper. So... And I like to get as much feedback about what I'm doing as possible, because I think that's the best way to improve upon something that's already good.
Which is true.
Yeah. Like, I want this thing, this is how I did for my other class assignment for a different class, but I want this to be so good that the expectations for me the rest of the quarter are set so high that I almost fail the class. That's always my goal. My goal is always to sabotage myself by doing really, really good.
Same. I do really, really good, and then I sabotage myself.
So, but that's my goal. I want it to be legendarily good. So, I like getting critiques. And it doesn't have to be drawn super pretty. Like, the character designs don't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be super pretty drawn. I don't even have the characters' names. I don't even have to make... And, like, their age is loosely between 12 and 15. Like, that's how loose it is. And I don't even have to make up actual dialogue because I want I want the animatic to be fairly universal where you don't need the dialogue to figure it out. So I'm gonna, like, when I make the sounds for the thing, I want it to be like Sim sounding language. Where it's like you get the emotion in their voices, but they're not saying words. So that's gonna be a thing I have to do. And it's gonna sound like me being crazy because it's gonna be me and a microphone and sound editing.
But
So, yeah.
I edited a video once and I hated it. Because the thing that kills me when I record stuff is hearing my voice in the playback.
Same.
And going, holy crap, I sound horrible. When actually my voice does not sound anything like my actual. I was like, I sound horrible, and that's just my microphone.
I'm getting better about that because even now I'm like, I hate hearing the sound of my voice, but because I edit footage of me doing streams like this, and I edit just sounds of that I have to make, and I want to be a voice actor, I'm getting used to hearing my own voice recorded, but at the same time I don't like listening to me. So it's like the constant struggle of, I don't want to listen to myself.
But you have to.
But you have to. Yeah. And I think it's more important to edit it and make sure it sounds good than to be like, I recorded this and I don't like listening to myself, so this is the product you get. I don't know if it's any good, but tell me it is. There's someone I know who's like that. I haven't talked to him in a very long time, and I don't plan to anytime soon. But I know someone who's like that. They make audio posts, and then they just post them, and they're like, I didn't listen to it. Here you go. Tell me it's great. It's like, first off, no. No, it's not. I'm not gonna inflate your ego anymore. But anyway.
Yeah, because I want to record myself doing something. Well, the wonderful thing is I want to record myself doing. Because, I have noticed videos of my voice where or on paper, it sounds like an amazing voice. Hear me through a microphone, it's like, my voice sounds horrible. Not knowing that's just the quality of my microphone.
Quality of a mic does make a lot of difference.
Because I use two different mics, both of them are really crappy quality. Which is my laptop mic and the mic that's not fit to my laptop, which is also really crappy. But if I wanted to record myself doing professional stuff, I would have to get a very, very, very pricey microphone. So I'm like, screw it, I'll just get it. So I don't have to sound like a complete moron when I record something myself.
I have a couple of pretty decent recording mics. I'm not using either of them right now. This is my computer one. But my first ever really cool recording mic was, I had Rock Band for the Wii, and I used that microphone. And I didn't realize it would work as well as it did. I just kind of, because it had a USB, I was just like, let's see if this works. And it did, and I was like, oh, shit! So I used that for a couple of years. And then I bought a pretty, not a super nice one, but a decent one my freshman year of college. So that was a good thing. That was a good purchase. And I mostly use them for voice recordings and whenever I sing. Because my computer mic does not like when I sing. It does not like it whatsoever. And not saying it sounds bad when my mic records it, but I'm really good at holding really long notes and really high notes. And the microphone will just freak out. Like, what the mic tries and does is if it hears a sound for long enough, it tries to edit out background noise, which it doesn't do very well. But if I hold a note for really long, it will try and edit out that sound. automatically. So all of a sudden, while I'm holding out a note, it'll be like... something like that.
It's always a fun sound to hear.
What? That sound?
Yeah. Because my mic doesn't do that, thankfully, because that would have been very funny if I had to hear that, like, on a constant basis. But my microphone picks up really horrible quality, so basically, I can hear myself, and anything in my room, I can hear. So if I have the TV on, it can hear it. If someone walks in my room, my microphone will pick it up. If my door opens, if my door opens, I can hear it. I'm like, dang it! Don't pick up those sounds. Just pick up the sound of my voice.
All you had to do was pick up the sound of my voice.
That's all you had to do. You had one job. You didn't even do that job. Dang it! You were doing so good, and now you're sucked at it.
Computer, you tried so hard and go so far, but in the end, you just fucked up shit. That's all that matters.
Try harder next time.
Get good.
Get good.
Get good.
Try harder and get good.
Oh my gosh, it's only 9:30.
Save.
The last time I was aware of time was when you said it was 8:30 over there, and I was like, it's 8:30 over here too.
We're in the same time zone.
We are.
Which
We
is
are.
awesome.
Yes. I like being on Eastern time better than Central time.
Save, because then I had to, because I'm in a contest where it's on different time zones. It's like, is that what time is this in my time zone? Is this a different time zone? Like, what time is it? I was like, I don't understand. I'll just post it whenever. And if they see it, they see it. If they don't, oh well. They'll see it whenever.
They'll see it when they see it, hopefully.
Hopefully they'll see it when they see it.
That's why I like cut-off dates instead of times. Like, for instance, if the cutoff time is like, if it's like it has to be done and turned in by like 3, like you're supposed to turn it in at 3 o'clock, and they don't say what time zone they're in, it's like,
My time zone or your time zone?
yeah. And the way I like to operate is, as long as it is this date in your time zone when you turn it in, you're good.
Like I had this contest where it gave me a time limit of 3 days. I went, okay, that's cool. Post it when? Your time zone? Okay. What time would that be my time zone? And I have to Google it. And I'm like, Google it, find out what time your time zone is, find out what time my time zone is, and figure out when to post it. That's just too much hassle, so I'll just post it whenever. You'll see it then, probably, I don't know. You'll see it whenever, I suppose.
Yeah.
If you see it, great. If you don't, oh well. There's plenty of people who will see it.
I'm super laid back with due dates. Like, if I say, for instance, if I said something for my contest was due September 15th, which is today, my brain would be like, okay, they have from, and this wouldn't be what I posted, because then I'd be getting a lot of late stuff, but I'd be like, okay, brain, it's midnight, the first hour of September 15th, and they have until midnight September 16th to have it turned in and finished in my brain. Because that's a full day for everybody, I think. And sometimes I even let it drag over to midnight September 17th. Because I'm just like, No one turns anything in for me anyway. If someone wants to turn it in a day late, it's okay. They might even still win, because they might be the only one that turns anything in.
I've seen people turn it in like a couple minutes before, and I'm like, I'm still over here working on it. Because I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah.
Because I like to read over my stories and go, okay, that's good, that's not good. Let me edit that. I have to go back and edit everything because I'm a perfectionist. That's what happens when you're a perfectionist. It screws you over in the end. And it's like, oh, well, it's there, isn't it?
Yep.
Which one do I send? Which story do I? Which meme do I send to which person?
Yeah.
Because you're always trying to figure out what their reaction would be to it. Like, is it be a good reaction? Will it be a horrible reaction? Oh, I don't know. I'll figure it out when I send it to them.
I hope my computer doesn't overheat while I'm doing this. I'm starting to get worried because I put my hand beside it. I'm like, oh, you're warm. Computer, you're warm.
My computer never overheats, thankfully. My computer stays the same temperature as it did when I turned it on.
Mine is a piece of crap, and it's almost 7 years old now.
I've had mine for, I think, about 4 years, I think.
Mine is about 7 years old, and it's hanging on by its last couple of threads. Hopefully it'll last a little bit longer, because I just invested in a new hard drive for it this summer, because the other one completely broke. Like, the computer wasn't even registering that there was a hard drive in it. So...
Oh, that's always fun.
Yeah. So I invested in a new hard drive instead of a new computer. And, because eventually I'm going to need a new computer, especially with my animation stuff. But for now, I like working on my little computer. It's not even a little computer, it's a pretty big computer. But I like working on it. And, like, I like working on normal stuff and then using the school computers for animation. So, but it overheats, and sometimes it'll overheat without even getting hot. Like, the fan and the motor will start running, and then it'll, like, get louder and louder and louder, and then the computer will just shut off. And it's like, hey! What are you doing? Why did you do that? And right now, it's like if you take your hand and you put it under your arm, like at your armpit. It's about that temperature.
Awesome.
I feel like that's a pretty universal temperature. I don't know.
It's the most universal temperature in existence.
I mean, there is one more that's probably more universal, but hint hint, I just said it. Sorry.
Yeah, I've been wanting to get a new laptop for quite a while because I've had to take 2 years. I'm just like, it's going to give out on me one day. I can feel it.
See, I don't want a new one. I just want mine to work.
Because I'm like, I take this thing outside of my house a lot. I know one day it's just going to give out on me. But hey, well, I'll save the money for a laptop. And I thought it's like, I told my mom, like, hey, can I get a new laptop? And she's like, since yours work? I'm like, yeah, why do you need a new one then? Like,
if it's broke, don't fix it.
You're so helpful. I'll buy it myself. Laptop's always so fun, and I've had mine for 2 years, and I thought I need to get rid of it. Because I had my old phone for 2 years, and then my father got me a new one. Like, if you can get me a new phone, why can't you get me a new laptop?
Yeah. I
Like,
I am not. I am big on. Well, I'm not really. I'm still not really big on phones. I didn't have anything aside from a flip phone until senior year of high school, and well, late junior year, early senior
there's,
year,
there's three
and
things I use my phone for. There's three things I use my cell phone for. Calling, texting, and music. Anything else? Oh, well, it also doubles as an alarm clock. But I have an actual alarm clock that I don't use. It should probably start using when I start going to college. It's like, I can't use my phone. Because if I leave my alarm on, I'll press snooze, roll over, and it'll go off again in like 5 minutes. I'd rather just use that clock. That way it just gets me up fast.
yeah, this year I've brought my alarm clock because and I'm gonna. I almost have the alarm set. It's an old alarm clock. Like I've had it since 5th grade, and it's still. The buttons are a little wonky, but I can get it to do what I want it to do. So I'm gonna find like a radio station I really enjoy listening to, and then like set the alarms on that. But I always worry about my phone dying in the middle of the night, because if the phone is dead, the alarm won't go off.
That's always fun.
Yeah, and I honestly, until I started using my phone as an alarm clock, I would turn my phone off while I slept because there was no reason for it to be on.
Same. I just put my alarm on my phone, scroll through I just scroll through needless things on my phone. It's like, huh. Still with Skype and trying to get to sign in. I'm like, nope, can't do this. Just on my alarm and put it down and go. Like, I'll fiddle with you.
I didn't need a
remember the password.
I didn't need a smartphone until I had one. I feel like that's a very common complaint. Because my flip phone, I couldn't even, it was just for calling and texting. There wasn't even a music option on it. There wasn't even earphones for it. And now, with my smartphone, I play Pokemon Go, and I waste money on dating sims. Actually, I haven't done that I haven't done that in about a year. Ever since I've gotten back into role-playing, I haven't had the urge to experience a story like that as much, because I get to write it myself. But I love dating sims, and I still do. Because I'm lonely and I don't like talking to other people. And I have a ton of music on it. Like, I used to have an iPod, but I hate Apple. So, no offense if you like Apple. I hate it.
I don't mind.
Every iPod, okay. I've had 3 iPods over the course of my life. The very first one was like the iPod Shuffle, and I loved it. There was no screen, and I had a ton of music on it, and I could just remember what song comes when by what song was playing. So I had to remember the actual order of all my music. And I loved that. Like, I love just putting it on shuffle, and it's this tiny little thing that clips to your pants. And one day it just stopped working, and I was like, well, shit, this is my favorite thing. So my mom was like, okay, we can get you a new iPod because that one's broken. It was a hand-me-down from my dad originally. So we got me a new iPod, and it worked for 3 years, and I was impressed with it at first. Like, I dropped that stuff on concrete. When I was riding my scooter, I'd drop it on concrete, and it would, like, skid behind me, and it never broke until one day I left it in my locker, in the bottom of my locker. Locker was closed. No one could get into my locker, and I came back and it was shattered. Like, all it was doing was sitting there, and to this day, I don't know how it shattered. It was just broken. So that was a thing. And then then my second iPod was actually a gift from a friend of mine because she got a better iPod, so she gave me her old iPod. And so I had that iPod, and I'd listen to that. And then I brought it to college with me. This was after I had my phone, because I used to hate using my phone when I'd like scooter and go outside, because I was like, I don't need music phone because I have an iPod. And so I brought my iPod, and then 2 weeks into sophomore year, I lost it. And then I found it when I was moving out under my bed, and when I turned it on, the outside screen was fine, but the interior screen was broken. So I could not use it. And all of those happened within a span of 2 years of owning it. I've had this phone for almost 4 years now because I got it my junior year of high school, and I'm in my junior year of college. Or late junior year, and I'm in my early junior year. So it's almost 4 years, and I've had this for 4 years, and I've dropped it on concrete, and I've done so much shit to it. Stuff that most smartphones aren't supposed to survive, and it's fine. So
I've gone through so many iPods. All because of one enemy. Water.
Water is a big enemy. I also don't like Macs. Last quarter, spring quarter, I took a lot of, or I had to take my 3D foundation classes, which were Digiform, which is digital form, space, and lighting, and it's about modeling in Maya, which is the major 3D animation program. And then I took Principles of 3D, which was the Principles of Animation class for 3D animation. And the Principles of 3D was on Macs, and the the Digiform was on PC. And Mac is literally the worst computer ever to work Maya on, which is weird to me because Disney refuses to work on anything but Macs when they work in Maya. So, long story short, Macs are awful creative computers. If someone is a big Apple fan and watches this when it goes on YouTube, I apologize, but I am right.
Yeah, I've gone through so many iPods because the first iPod about in the entirety of my life, I've had about like 3 iPods. All of them were ruined by me. The first 2 were ruined by me. The second was ruined by my brother. Because the first 2 I had wonderfully was kind of sort of destroyed by me putting it in the washing machine. So that was a dumb idea on my part because it was thrown to the washing machine.
I have lost a lot of electronics to the washing machine.
And my second iPod was the second iPod I had was when my mom gave me hers, and then she took it back. But my second iPod was my brother's, and I had that for a couple of days before I broke that. Because the button, I pressed the button and it didn't work anymore. I'm like, what the heck? So that was ruined. And then my third iPod was when I took it to the beach. And my brother had the dumbest idea to put it in my swimsuit pocket. So, because I took a pair, he was wearing one piece, I took it to I was wearing swim trunks. I put my swim trunks on the beach chair, not noticing that they were in my pocket. So basically, my swim trunks were destroyed. So the iPod, which belonged to my mother, was destroyed. I'm like, thank Barney. You just destroyed an iPod.
iPods are too expensive for them to be so easily broken. I feel the same way about iPhones. I think they're too expensive and too fragile to be worth it. Of course, I know a lot of people that are like super big Apple freaks, but not saying they're freaks in a bad way. I mean like fanatic.
My Android phone has gone through so much by me. It's been dropped downstairs. It's fallen on concrete, and it still works. I was like, you are indestructible. I was like, huh, that's weird. Kinda like that.
Yeah. That was something. I had a friend I had two friends, one being a super Apple freak and the other one was Android, but not the Samsung Androids, like another Android. And they were arguing about which one was better, and it was in a group chat they had with me, and I was getting so annoyed by the notifications, and I was like, look, I know you both really like the phones that you have, but I am the only one that can, and at this time, this was the year, I'm the only one that can say I've had my phone for 3 years. So, you know, your arguments are pretty good, but your timelines are not. And they were both just like, eh. And I was like, yeah, I wrecked you. I didn't really wreck them. I didn't think it like that. Brain, stop saying words.
So much fun. My brother, because my father, when my mom, when she got her and my brother's iPod, she asked me if I wanted one, and she said, I can get it engraved for you. And I'm like, nope. I'm not going to destroy that one.
I would rather have an engraved pocket knife, thanks.
Then have something that will break within like 2 months.
Yeah. And it's like, the more special it is, the more fragile it's gonna be. That's how I feel about that stuff.
I was Android. This was downstairs, and it has not broken. The screen has not cracked, and it's like, wait, you're gonna crack. Because my old phone used to have so many problems. I'm like, oh god, please calm down. I have one bug. Last time I had like 6. I have to go.
I couldn't even hear you. I feel like your internet's about to cut out again.
My internet, I think, is fine.
Okay.
I say with understandable consciousness.
I'm a little bit worried about it because for a second I couldn't hear you very well, and then I looked up at the timer and I'm like, the first time it cut out was at 40 minutes and the second time was at 52, so it's getting close to probably cutting out again, according to my brain logic. I would say it's on my end, but I'm streaming, and of course no one's watching the stream, but I can see that the stream is still running, so I feel like it's working okay.
I have one too many blogs.
Preaching to the choir.
I have like 6.
I have more than that.
I have too many blogs that only managing. It's like, you're fine, I think. She says that she thinks.
I should keep drawing, but there are replies to do.
Replies are the bane of my existence because I'm behind of the way.
I have the
I was
same
like,
problem.
screw it, I don't care.
I only work on the ones that I have muse for. I have too many things in my drafts. And like sometimes I'll go through my drafts and I'll be like, "Oh, this one, this one, this one, this one," and I'll do them, but I never like feeling like I have to do something. So that's why I have a free to drop policy on my blog. If my partner doesn't like the thread anymore, they can drop it at any time. And if I don't like a thread anymore, I can drop it at any time. Or I can just put it in my drafts and I can reply to it whenever, like an asshole.
We can all draft it like an ass. Because I don't mind dropping threads, because there's sometimes where I have, like, on each blog a certain number of threads, and then somehow, because I found myself starting more threads than finishing them.
Understandable.
I'm like, yeah, I'll send in this and this, and like, oh, all these replies, what? I think it's to work, I guess. Clacks her heels and wishes they could go away. But I can't.
There's no place like home.
There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
Dorothy. Dorothy is a great heroine. Heroine. I don't know. Whenever I hear the word heroine, I know it's the heroine, but I always think of the drug heroin, which is why that's why I pronounce it heroine.
I'm kidding. I'm sure everyone thinks that at one point in their life.
You okay?
I'm fine.
That seemed to be really funny to you.
Some things are very funny to me.
The only reason I make that connection is because of Nicki Minaj.
Naturally.
There's a lyric, I think it's either Blazing or Fly, where she's like, I'm on that different type of drug, heroin, put on my cape and hit the sky, heroin. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Are you talking about drugs or being cool? Come on.
Who knows?
I'm a big Nicki Minaj.
And the term heroin and the drug heroin sound exactly the same.
They do. I love Nicki Minaj, so I am in no ways hating on her rhyme scheme. It's pretty clever, if not a little bit silly.
My mom doesn't like her, but I don't like her. I like her, the song she first did.
Super Bass, that's the one that was super popular when she first started. I am obviously from my blog a pretty big Nicki Minaj fan. I wasn't until I made my blog. Several people have noticed throughout not the 2 years. I've only been running it for 1 year. I'm starting the second year, but several people on separate related occasions have sent me anons that are like, I just realized your blog name is after that one Nicki Minaj lyric, and I'm like, yes, that is essential to the whole theme of my blog. Thanks. And when I started the blog, I was like, I thought it was going to be funny. And then I was like, since my blog is Nicki Minaj themed and Merrick is a Nicki Minaj fan, I have to listen to more Nicki Minaj music. And then I started, and then I couldn't stop. And then I fell in love with her.
That's what happens. That's what happens when you start something. You start something and you can't stop.
That's what happens when you start something and can't stop it. She's beautiful, and I want to marry her. I would marry Nicki Minaj if she loved me.
We all would.
Yep. There are very few female celebrities that I'm like, I would marry them. Even though I'm probably more it's questionable if it's gay or straight when you're non-binary. It's all kind of gay. It's all a little bit gay. But I meet more people in person that are female that I'm like, I would love to marry you. But when it comes to celebrities, it's like the only one I'd definitely be like, I'd marry you is Nicki Minaj. Maybe Demi Lovato. If there wasn't the big age gap, maybe Raven Simone. But then when it comes to guys, it's like there are no like real celebrity guys I would marry at all. But if any of the YouTubers that are not even remotely popular, but most of the YouTubers that are guys that I watch, if they asked me to marry them, I would say yes. Even if I've only watched one of their videos. It's like, which is really creepy. I admit, I think it's super creepy that I would do that. But then again, you know. You know. Creepy creepin' is creepy. I don't know if you've seen them, but Markiplier and Jacksepticeye have been promoting t-shirts that it's like single, taken, and then a third box, mentally dating Markiplier / mentally dating Jacksepticeye. And I'm like, I would buy one of those shirts if I wanted to be even creepier, because I am in love with Markiplier. In a celebrity fashion, in love with Markiplier. And I never wanted to be. I have a whole story about how I was introduced to Markiplier's channel that I remember every time I'm like, I'm in love with Markiplier. So I had never seen a Markiplier video. I'm going to do this reply and then I'm going to tell a story. So I had never seen a Markiplier video, and my friend, who was the friend who was with me in call Tuesday, and my best friend, she was like, hey, have you ever watched a Markiplier video? And I was like, who's Markiplier? And she's like, he's this YouTuber, and he reminds me of your dad. And that sent up warnings for me, because I was like, whoa, I don't want to watch my father on YouTube. Because I find my dad loud, obnoxious. He's pretty funny. This is unrelated but related. I didn't realize until recently my dad wanted to be a stand-up comedian when he was younger. Instead, he's in the military. Go figure. But anyway, she was like, his humor reminds me of your dad's humor so much. And I was like, thanks, I'm never going to watch him. And then she tried to get me to watch a couple of videos, and I was like, look, I can't do it. And this was in his early days. Like, it wasn't 2011 when most of the YouTubers started, but it was about 2012. And she was like, you just gotta watch him. You just gotta watch him. I'm like, no, I don't like him. I hate his humor. I didn't like, and then I tried to watch his Amnesia videos because Amnesia: The Dark Descent was one of my favorite video games ever, and I was like, he's too bold and cocky, and I don't like it. I don't like the persona he puts on. But then one day, he had the only really long playlist of SCP Containment Breach, which I had a fascination about that game. And he was the only one with more than like 5 episodes. He had like 40 something at the time. So I watched them all, and by the end I was like, I think I'm in love. And I have been a fan ever since.
I think I came across him when I watched one of his horror compilations.
His horror compilations are great.
I'm like, huh, never saw him before. Like, huh, what's this thing? And back then I was very, I guess like apprehensive of horror. And was a huge scaredy cat. Now, not so much. I mean, I still get scared every now and again, but it's not as bad as it was before. But I watched his horror compilation, and it took me, and I watched him at first, and I'm like, he's not that funny. I kept watching the video over and over and over again. I'm like, okay, he's funny. When I got my first YouTube channel, I went, huh, I haven't seen this guy in a while. Watched him, like, oh, okay, subscription that. And that's how I found him.
It's almost like a Stockholm Syndrome kind of story. Like, that's really awful. I feel like this part of the conversation, because I've been doing replies instead of drawing, will be cut out of the YouTube edit. But if there was ever someone in the future who watched this conversation, they'd be like, Markiplier's the best. Why are you saying good things and bad things about him? It's like, that's how people work. That is how people things work. I am human things.
We are human things.
Another thing I liked about Markiplier when I really started watching him is, for a long time I had an obsession with Brian Regan, and he makes so many Brian Regan references. Like, I was like, I know that comedian. I know that thing that you're saying. I enjoy that reference humor you are doing there. You know, the things you say when you're talking to yourself watching YouTube videos.
Totally. You totally tell yourself that.
I've been trying to draw the same thing for like forever between replies. I'm trying to draw the little girl skipping up the steps. Here we go. It'll be something like this. There we go. She goes skip. Because it's an animatic, so it won't be animated, so I don't need to put that much detail in it, but I want it to be apparent that she takes a big skip past the first step onto the second step, and then skips from the second step up to the top step. You know, like little girls do.
My mind actually went to her falling on her face.
I mean, yeah.
I'm horrible.
No, it's a good thing. If I was actually planning out a full animation for this, I would have it where she where she does trip, because what she's supposed to do is skip from the sidewalk to the middle step, from the middle step to the top step, but then like that would actually be a really cool thing. When she gets to the top step, trip a little bit, and her mom's right there, and her mom catches her. That would be a neat little thing to add in. I'm gonna do it.
I just gave you an idea.
Yes.
Yay.
I will not put you in the credits, though. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I don't like being credited for much of anything. my brain is trying to think of a reply.
My brain does that thing where it gets obsessed with a certain thread or a couple of threads, and then I'll get really excited when I see someone's replied, but it's not the reply I'm looking for, so I can't think of a response to the thread that has been answered. That happens to me.
Same. It happens to me all the time. It never works out perfectly. It just stays the same way.
Nothing ever changes. It's all the same.
Everything just stays the same. It never changes.
Makes me think of the Adventure Time Steak series.
I watch many cartoons, but I don't care because cartoons are fun.
Cartoons are the best. Cartoons are what I'm going to be doing for a living, so I'm glad other people my age are watching them. Nothing makes me angrier than someone that's like, cartoons are made for children, and it's like, who do you think makes those cartoons? Adults make those cartoons. Maybe they are marketed to children, but they are made by adults.
Adults will know who came up with the idea for that cartoon.
Even the worst ideas
are made by adults.
Yeah. From my experience and from the experience of my friends, college is better than high school, though.
It probably is.
And I can say in my own experience, and in like art stuff, you spend a lot more time on homework than you do in anything else. At least I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't know anyone else who, a lot of people who know my schedule but don't know what I do are like, but you have Fridays off, and I'm like, yeah, because we have 2.5-hour classes Monday through Thursday, and I only have early morning classes on Thursday. I only have one early morning class on Thursday, so my weekend starts as soon as I get out of class on Thursday. But you're sitting here, I'm doing homework my technically Friday night that I don't even know the due date for, because I don't know when it's going to be due, and I don't know how much work is going to have to go into it. And I've already logged about 6 hours into this assignment. So I don't know anyone else who can say that about their homework assignments from other colleges. When you're going into normal stuff. But anyway,
Not that much time, but when you're doing something like art or cooking or writing, you spend more time on your homework than normal people.
But even like this assignment was loosely assigned on Monday, and I've already and part of this time has been RPing and talking to people, but I didn't even record the first couple hours of working on it, and just recording myself working on it, it's almost been 6 hours, including time I cut out of the first episode and the time that will be cut out of this episode. So I don't know, like, it was assigned 2 classes ago, and there is no due date. And it's not getting close to being done. But anyway, but even with that, college has been the most free time I have ever had in my life. I have never had so much free time. It's baffling to me. 'Cause, like, high school, at least, especially with my learning disability, I got to school at 8. I stayed at school until 3. Once I got out of school, I worked on homework from 3 to normally finishing between 8 p.m. and midnight, and then I'd go to bed. And some nights, I'd go to bed around 3 because I was working on it, and then I'd get up at 5 and keep working on it, and then I'd go back to school. Those were my weekdays. And my weekdays here are like, oh, I have class at 8 a.m. to 10:30 on Monday, Wednesday, and then from 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday, Wednesday, not Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, Wednesday, and then from 11 to 1:30 on Tuesday, Thursday, and then I have a basically 4-day weekend because I got out of class at like 1:30 in the afternoon on Thursday. So it's like but I work harder when I'm not in class than I did in high school. So it's like, and this may just be my experience, it's the most free time you will have, along with some of the hardest work you will ever do.
So much fun. I know that when I start studying to become a writer, I'm going to be spending like 99% of my time just in front of my computer, which is usually like most of my days. I don't want to adult. I'm like, isn't that like every adult in the whole wide world?
That's the best. I went to HamaCon in Huntsville early in the summer. And there was a t-shirt shop, and this was the first anime convention my mother had ever been to. And the story about that was that I was in Huntsville visiting my mom and my dad, because my dad works there, and I don't live there. But he works nights, so Mom and I were in the hotel room because the trailer was broken, and we were like, she was like, what do you want to do? I'm like, what is there to do in Huntsville? And she Googled stuff to do, and she was like, what's HamaCon? And I was like, the anime convention that happens in Huntsville. That's not this weekend, though. And she's like, yeah, it is. You want to go? And I was like, hell yeah, I want to go. So we went, and it was the first one she had ever been to, and she was amazed by how it worked. And there was a t-shirt shop in the dealing room and one of the t-shirts, and this was the one she kept and got, said, I can't adult today. My 51-year-old mother wearing that shirt is the best thing I can ever see. My mom doesn't look 51. She looks, in my brain, she looks like her late 30s, and she's always like, you're too nice to me. What do you want? I'm like, you don't look like an old lady. You just don't. If you don't want the compliment, I won't give it to you anymore because I don't want shit from you. But you know, you don't look 51.
Same. That's my mom. My mom is like, she's in her 50s, and she's pretty young, but she looks like she's in her 40s.
Yeah.
Mom, you look young. Like, thank you. And I'm 18. And the thing I've done, and this is from one of the, because one of the girls from my church, well, one of the girls from the church I used to go to, said I looked like I was 13. And I'm like, thanks. I'm 15. I'm 17. But thanks. Because I'm 5'0". So I'm short. And I look young. And not like I'm 18. So people thought that I looked like I was 13. 13 to 14. And I was like, no. I'm 18. You know. 17, turning 18 soon. I'm not that young. If I was, you could question that.
The nice thing about that, though, I wish people would mistake me for 12, because then I could get into movies free. Or not free, but the child discount. I have never had the problem of being mistaken for being too young. I have always been mistaken for being too old. I remember I was 13 and I was helping with Vacation Bible School at church. And I was helping with the littlest kids they had, which was preschool. And I was helping with the kids, and one of the kids was crying, and I helped her out, and when she was feeling better, she ran off, and one of the other mothers approached me, and she's like, "You're so good with them, which one's yours?" And I'm like, "I'm 13, and I don't have a child. I am a child." And then another thing that happened to me, I was 16 at the time, but in my brain, so until I was about 17, 18, I was super innocent. Like, there used to be this joke between my other internet friends and me that certain things were Minda safe, because that's the full part of the Min nickname. Some things were just not Minda safe. So, and that was anything remotely sexual whatsoever. And so, while I was in the store, like, this is just giving you an idea. So, I was 16, but I had the mental status when it came to innocence of a 12-year-old. So, I was in the store looking for clothes with my mom, and this other lady walked up to me, and she's like, "Hey, I'm picking out clothes for my daughter. And I don't know what she would like. Can you help me?" And I was like, "Sure, I love helping people." And she's like, "Great." So she holds up these two super slutty dresses. And I just stared at them, and I was like, neither of those dresses are appropriate for me to wear. And she's like, "Oh." And I was like, "I'm a high schooler." And she's like, "My daughter's in college." And I'm like, "Yeah, sorry, I don't know what's cool in college. But you seem like a pretty cool mom, so I feel like whatever you pick will be good." And that was the end. That was the end of our conversation. So that was so, like, I've always been mistaken for being older than I am, even though I feel younger.
Everyone's mistaking me for something younger than I am. People also said me and my brother used to look the same when we were younger. And I'm like, no, we weren't. Because there's this, because my mom had cancer a couple back when we were like 8, and we were in the hospital, and this elderly couple who was sitting like across from us, and I guess they're like talking to each other about something, and then the elderly lady turns to us and she goes, "Excuse me, are you two twins?" And I'm like, "No, we're brother and sister. We're fraternal. We're not twins." She's like, "Oh, okay," and goes right back talking with her husband. I'm like, okay. Did I miss the memo? We look the same. Because on the outside, we didn't look the same. So on the based on the outside, we didn't look the same. But if you gave us a phone and tell us to call our mother, she could not tell the difference between me and my brother. Because when we were little, we sounded the same on the phone. So my mother could not tell us apart from like her. So basically, every time she called us, it was a gamble. She basically had to guess who was talking to her.
She should have given each of you a code word. Like, okay, whenever you pick up the phone and I say, "Hey, it's Mom," you're supposed to say this phrase. And your sister is supposed to say this phrase. And so help me, if you say your sister's phrase... I'm not even drawing at this point, I'm just replying to things, and when I get to that point, I'm like, maybe I should end the stream. It's not like anyone's watching, so it's not like I have to end the stream, or that I'm false advertising, but then I'm like, I'm just wasting computer time, like, screen time.
Oh, the struggle.
The struggle. Of course, now that I've replied to things, I'm about to go back to drawing. I'm getting tired, though, so my quality of drawing is getting worse.
Yay.
I haven't even finished a full scene. Tuesday I finished 3. What's wrong with me? It's because I'm not paying attention. That's what's wrong with me. My brain's like, it's Thursday. You're making progress, so you don't have to work too hard on it. And it's like, you don't understand. I still have to do sound editing, and I want this to be great. I want this to be, like, so great that it, like, gets picked up for, like, an actual short film, or for my teacher to be like, yo, stop being an animator. Go into production. But I want to be an animator. Me, it's like, I know you do, but I want other people to want you to be a producer, to write the stories. It's like, me, why would you do that to other people and yourself?
Who knows?
It's like, I want to be awesome. Honestly.
This is what you have to do to be awesome.
Yeah. Honestly, I would probably rather be telling the stories, but if I'm just an animator, I'd still be happy with that. Because I love coming up with stories and worlds, and my brain goes, like, as soon as I start a story, my brain puts it together in my head, so, I mean, I have the skill. I have good skills for a storyteller. And I'm taking classes this quarter all about storytelling. Like, my English class this quarter, we don't always have English, but because, like, sometimes it's history. But my English elective is a Foundation for Story, and I'm learning about how storytelling, like, the history of storytelling, how to tell a story, the basic formulas for story. Our first day we learned about the monomyth, all this kind of cool stuff for telling stories. That would be pretty cool if I stayed a storyteller. I don't know. I'm really dumb. I say dumb things. Ignore me. Why can't I draw her face right? No, I deleted her hair! Ah!
There goes that violin!
My screaming.
There goes the mental screaming.
Ah! No, that's my out loud screaming. My mental screaming is more of a and then when they mix together it sounds like unacceptable conditions! Unacceptable! I feel bad for my roommates. / housemates, because I don't have a roommate.
I have a roommate, my brother, because he still is in this.
Oh, poop. I forgot that my sci window had to be a certain size, and then I, like, full screened it, and then I'm like, oh shit, you just messed up this stream.
So fun.
Talking to me must be a lot of fun, because I'm an
Yeah.
idiot.
We're all.
Did you used to be nervous to talk to me?
Yes. No,
Are-
I'm not. No,
good.
I'm not.
I don't think anyone should ever be nervous to talk to me, because I am a fool.
Same.
I am
When
glad.
someone tells me that they were nervous to talk to you, I'm just like, do you not know me in real life? Like, I am just as nervous and as shy as you are. Throw me into a room with someone, and I have no idea what the hell I'm doing.
I am a nervous extrovert, which is not a good combination. Stop! Sorry. One of the RP blogs, the Jaden Yuki RP blog, has automatic music, so it started playing the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX theme as soon as I clicked on the blog. I don't like auto music, but I tolerate it.
Same. I don't know how that show works, and I don't know what songs would be good or what songs would fit Jaden.
So, I am one of those people. I read the manga of the original Yu-Gi-Oh! And I watched the dub of the original Yu-Gi-Oh! I've watched my favorite episodes. I've watched subbed, and I've watched Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. I don't know why I couldn't get that off my tongue, but anyway. So those are the things I've watched for the original series. But I've only watched the dub, or not even the whole dub, but part of the dub for GX, because I don't have time to read subtitles for Yu-Gi-Oh! Especially GX. So, but I know enough about it to understand when 4Kids cut stuff out, and to notice the hints of when episodes have been cut out. And I know just enough about the first 2 seasons to know the characters pretty well. Like, okay, so watching GX is really painful for me, because the only reason I watch it is for the cameos of the characters in the original series. I care nothing for the struggles of the main characters in the actual series. Not even a little bit. Not even a teeny tiny little bit. My favorite character is, I can't remember his name. He's the professor with black hair that has the cat that's named Pharaoh. I guess, yes, Professor Banner. He's the only character I care about. Which is pretty shitty because in season 2, he dies.
Yeah.
And then his spirit is eaten by his cat.
And then his spirit lives on.
Yes. Until it's vomited up by his cat.
And then his spirit still lives on.
Yep. So, but he was the only character from the GX series that I cared about. So I started watching it on the idea that there'll be more cameos. Which the cameos are great.
The only cameos that are in the series is Yugi and Kaiba.
That's not true. The Paradox brothers show up.
That is true.
Kaiba shows up, and the weird dual monster Kaiba shows up. Pegasus shows up. And then there are flashbacks to Battle City where Merrick shows up. And then the 4Kids voice actor for Merrick shows up to voice one of the other characters for one duel. And I didn't realize it was the Merrick voice actor as a kid, but when I tried to rewatch it last year, I was doing something, and all of a sudden I heard the screamy dub voice of Merrick, and I turned around and was like, Merrick! And it was like, no, it's not you! And literally, those are the only 2 voice acting things he's ever done, which surprised me. I was like, what else has this guy done? So I looked up Merrick Ishtar's English voice actor, and it's like, oh, only Merrick and this dude in GX. Good to know.
He got hired for 2 jobs.
Yep.
That's sad, but hey, at least you got your big break in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Okay. I don't know how other people feel about Merrick's dub, but I actually really like it. I mean, the lines are dumb and it's done poorly, but that's just the voice direction of 4Kids anyway.
Because 4Kids.
I mean, that's something that's true for everything that 4Kids dubs, is that the voice direction is a little weird. It's not just Yu-Gi-Oh!, it's everything they do. So, but I really wish that someone else could redo it, but get the original voice of Merrick and see if he can actually do a normal job. Because I really like the quality of his voice. I really like it. It's super dumb sounding, but I really, really like it. I like the not so raspy tone. Like it's a high-pitched child who still has a little screamy rasp in their voice. I like that.
We don't like
Kaiba's voice is also good. Kaiba voices, I believe, Brock in Pokemon, though, which has scarred me for life. If you didn't know that, you know that now.
Now I know.
Now you know. Bakura's dub voice, he voices Ryu and Yami Bakura, but he also voices Bandit Keith and someone else in Yu-Gi-Oh! And then he also voices James from Pokemon. So, fun things. I really like his voice. He has a good voice. I don't know why people get stuck with 4Kids. A lot of their voice actors could do better. The person who voice acts Ash can't, but, did I say that out loud? Not hating on the original voice actor for Ash, but, I love her voice for Ash, but when you listen, she voices a character in Yu-Gi-Oh! As well. She voices the little kid that Serenity meets during Battle City in the hospital. Which I didn't realize it was that voice actor, because Little Karibo makes a joke about it, but I didn't realize until I rewatched the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series dub that that was it. And then I was like, oh, now Little Karibo's joke makes sense, because this little boy sounds just like Ash Ketchum, because it's the same voice actor, and she can only do one little boy voice.
Great. So much knowledge.
Yep. I know a lot of useless facts.
I think the only two characters I actually really liked in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX were Jaden and Chaz. Those are only two. Everyone else I couldn't get attached to. I was like, wow, that's sad. You know, like two characters out of a whole cast. With Yu-Gi-Oh! With the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, I could list off a F ton of people.
I couldn't even get attached to Chaz or Jaden. Whereas in the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, I was attached to everyone. Everyone! Everyone. I was even attached to Arcana. And Weevil and Rex. I wanted to punch them in the face, but I was attached to them. I wasn't really attached to the characters from Season 4, because Season 4 enraged me. It's a good season, but it's just so out of the blue.
It is.
Like, they go in...
It was good in terms of character development. Story-wise, it sucked.
Yeah. And another thing that I hated, and I honestly, when I rewatch it by itself, I wouldn't have hated it if it didn't come in the middle of Battle City for no reason. I hate the Noah arc. I hate it. But not because I think it's a bad arc, I just think it's really stupid to be placed right there in the middle of Battle City. Because it's not...
Because it didn't make no sense when it was placed in literally the middle of Battle City when everything was just getting good.
Like, the only reason I like the Noah arc is because you get to see Yami Merrick just walk around and mess with stuff in between. Like, that's the coolest thing ever. But it enrages me so much because the Battle City arc, according to the manga, is supposed to go... They're having the Battle City. It's supposed to be like a 2-day event, 3-day event, weekend event, something like that. At least the finals are supposed to be a 2-day event. I think the whole thing is supposed to be a week. So they're flying to Kaiba's private island. And so the Noah arc starts with them landing on Kaiba's private island. And the end of Battle City is supposed to be Kaiba blowing up his private island. But what we got in the Noah arc is Kaiba blows up his private island, or not Kaiba blows up his private island, Yami Merrick blows up his private island. And then they all escape, and then they go to another one of Kaiba's private islands, finish Battle City, and then Kaiba blows up his private island.
Yeah, he makes poop the first private island for him.
At least I'm pretty sure it was either Yami Merrick or Noah possessing Mokuba. I can't remember which one actually caused it to happen. I remember Yami Merrick what I think happened, my memory's kind of fuzzy because I hate the Noah arc. What I think happened is Yami Merrick came into a room of machinery, started destroying stuff, and Noah set off a missile. Yami Merrick came in and destroyed stuff, and then Noah went back in to stop the missile, but Yami Merrick had destroyed it all, so he couldn't. And then he let everyone go.
Yami Merrick. He had to screw something up. That's trouble.
I have a Yami Merrick muse, and he is fantastic. So I have nothing in common with Yami Merrick except for I like to stick my tongue out and freak people out. That's it. That's all I got. But I really enjoy writing him.
I think we all enjoy writing our muse in some way. The two favorite music I like to write for are for Jaden and for Cora, just because I want to see how far I can get them without making it weird. How far can I get the two of you while keeping it in canon? Not very, pretty dang far. I can throw you in places. Throw characters anywhere I want to. My father gave me his parasite phone and I was like, that's a bad idea. I'm going to destroy the thank you for the offer. I still love it.
My back is starting to hurt worse. I should probably end the stream for the night because I haven't worked on anything.
You got halfway there.
I'm gonna pause doing replies and I'm gonna finish this sketch of the girl, and then I'm gonna have another full panel finished, and then I'll take a break. I never want to stop in the middle of a panel. That's just stupid. That's just beyond stupid. I feel bad for anyone who watches this whole thing on YouTube. Of course, it'll almost be like a podcast because it's just listening to me talk anyway, since these drawings are so dumb. But anyone who watched this episode for art got a little bit of art and then a lot of nothing with me talking. And you with me not drawing.
Because that's always fun.
Yes. I don't know. I don't expect anyone to ever watch these. Ever. But they're going up anyway because I want records in case someone does watch them. And also I think it'll be cool one day to go back and see how much time and how bad my work ethic was when I made something cool. I don't know, the work ethic isn't actually that bad because I'm working super ahead of schedule. But it's like I plan ahead so well that I can still be lazy. That's what this is. This is planning ahead so well that you can be lazy. Because I'm just lazily doing the drawings. But if I was waiting until I knew the due date, then I would be like, oh shit, I gotta get this stuff done. I gotta get this stuff done yesterday. Why didn't I start working on this as soon as I had my idea? And I can't.
Me, like, every single day. I had a project, because back when I was, like a couple months ago, I had a project. I was supposed to write, because I had a lot of projects for science. And I had this one project that I didn't wait until till the day before it was supposed to be submitted to start working on it. I was like, I'm gonna wait till last minute. I've got plenty of time. Oh, it's the day before it's submitted. Oh, time to get to work. I have to work on this because if I don't, it won't be submitted. Because I'm horrible with time.
See, I've never been able to do homework the day before because I have horrible work anxiety. With my learning disability, I have dyslexia, and I don't like calling it a disability because I think I function as well as anybody else. But when I started in school, teachers didn't want to help me out. So I learned from a young age that I had to work harder than other people. And even when I had good teachers, and even when I caught up to the people around me after, in second grade I moved to private school because public school was going to stick me in special ed, and my parents didn't want that, and I was too young to really make a decision either way, but my parents were like, that's going to destroy her confidence. So I went to a private school, and when I finally caught up to the kids around me, I had this whole stigma about myself that I had to work harder and I had to prove myself, which is part of why I spent so much time on homework, because I wanted it to be as good as all the kids around me, if not better. So I've always been one of those people who starts the day something is assigned and is working on it until the moment it is submitted. I haven't had to do that as much in college. I still work pretty much from the time it's assigned to the time it's submitted, as you can see, because I'm doing that right now. But but I don't feel as stressed out about it as I did in high school, because in my brain, because when I graduated high school, I was valedictorian, and I was like, there, I proved myself. I can do as well as anyone else can. So in college, it's like, I'm going to work, but if I don't want to work on something, I'm not going to make myself work on something. Even though I always want to work on it, because I don't like not finishing things. Okay. I got to do this and then erase that one. Alright. So let's see what I accomplished today. Not very much. But let's see. What I got done today is I got... You can't see this because I'm not sharing screens, but I'm just doing an overview for myself. I got from this panel, which was finished last stream, to this panel of her closer to her mom. And then I do the screen cut with this new beautiful background. I'm awful at backgrounds, so I like spending a lot of time on backgrounds. I know the majority of the stream has not been spent on the background, but I feel like the majority of the work has been spent on this background. And then I have this panel of the girl. I'll have to have a panel where she's actually coming into screen. Maybe not. Maybe she's just running. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But there's this panel where the girl is running to the first step and the mother's standing there. And then she skips up to the middle step and the mother starts to look down and hold out her arms. And that's how far I got. So, not bad. Not bad. Little baby steps. Okay. This has been Minstreams doing homework, and I'm gonna, the thing is doing the same thing it did last time.